Hi everybody, welcome back. This is Gina again, and today's day 38 of ICAD 2021. I am covering my card with acrylic paint, white acrylic paint, because I'm going to give it another layer of paint and I don't want it to soak into the card. Could have used gesso, but I guess the paint was right there, so I used that instead. Now I'm coming in with a sponge and more acrylic paint. This one is by Marie's. It's a beautiful blue. I love this blue. And I'm just roughly putting on blue because I'm trying to give it a kind of faded background. So I didn't want to cover the entire page with it, card. And now again, I'm going over it with the white acrylic. As I said, I wanted it kind of faded and kind of cool and kind of cloudy looking, you know. I'm coming into the corner and I'm just trying to darken just that corner, which is kind of I don't think I've ever tried this before. Just tiny, especially it's so tiny, the card's so small. So I was trying to make the corner really dark in that corner and then fade it out into the card, but not all the way into the card. So like less than halfway into the card, I wanted it to fade out. So I'm just gonna go back and forth trying to fade it. Keep it really dark in the corner and fade it. So while that side is drying, I decided to try another technique. I know I'm experimenting by using the palette knife to blend the paint into the card. Just kind of scrape it on. It gave me a lot of difficulty, but I persisted. This was not supposed to happen. You see other people doing these things and they make it look so simple, so effortless, and so easy. It's like, yeah, I could try that. And then you get this big blob. So I just wiped it all back and just kept trying. Don't give up. Again, I'm experimenting and I'm trying to hold the knife different ways to try and get the effect I want, because it just really wasn't coming out the way I've seen others do it. So I ended up coming in with this, it's a piece of an index card actually, and I'm trying to use it to scrape it on. So I kind of liked how that looked and I decided to give it a rest. It reminds me of ice or even the ocean. Kind of rough but sharp. So at the same time, it reminds me of ice and the ocean. Yeah. So I'm going back into this corner. It's nice and dry. And I'm going to try and blend it in again. So it's one card, it's super tiny, but I'm still, it's like two different stuff happening on the same card, very close to each other. So this side could look like the ocean too, but it reminded me more of the sky. So it's kind of like the ocean and the sky together, but separate, you know? And those colors, it made me feel very cool and calm. The right side, not so much calm, because it's kind of like sharp and jagged, icy, cold. Oh, you know what that reminded me of? The show that everybody liked, Frozen. Yeah, it reminded me of Frozen when she was in her ice palace. Yeah, the right side reminds me of that, and this side that I'm doing now reminds me of the sky and the ocean, the deep blue ocean fading into this show. Yeah, I'm roughing up my edges now because I didn't want a smooth edge, and then I'm going to paint it. When you rough the edges, it's so nice to apply the paint after. It gets fluffy and it feels so nice, and it just kind of soaks in, you know, so easy. My words today are get quiet, hear it. And because the colors of the card, and it was so cool and it felt calming, even though the left side is kind of, you know stuff is happening, it still felt cool and calming. So I felt that those words really matched. It felt right to me. And it also reminded me of getting quiet before God and hearing the Holy Spirit, hearing the voice of God, him talk to you. A lot of the times, our life is so full of noise, just all sorts of stuff happening around us all the time. And we need to get quiet. We need to have that quiet within us and find that quiet time and quiet place. Yes, I know many of us have loud families, a lot of children, but we really need to have that quietness. Even if it's half an hour, 15 minutes before the day starts or as everybody's off to bed. That's what I do. And we get that quiet place and we hear him and we spend that time with him, and it's worth it. It's worth it. You get clarity and you get peace.